all, don't ever say my job, because that's just over broke. You understand what I'm saying? Your life is a business. What you call the government, they know it is a business. They created LLC based on you, right? So your life needs to be a business. My daily business, go in there as a business. What is moving me closer to my goals? You got to walk in there. But there's one thing you got to do before you walk through the door of that business. You have to create a transitional space. What you do is you sit in your car on the bus stop just before you go in, and you breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth like you're whistling, and you get balanced. And you got to gather yourself, because you're about to be torn apart if you allow that. Then when you get in there, and you know what I'm saying, you got the fluorescent lights and the people and the microwaves. You're done until you gather yourself and breathe really quickly and get your mantra. This is on me. My daily business is moving me closer to my goals. Now, when you walk through the threshold, you walk in there with your chin up. You're powerful. And you're going to do this because what? It is building something much bigger. First of all, don't ever say my job, because that's just over broke. You understand what I'm saying?
5 golden rules always remember. Number 1, no wealth is greater than a family. Number 2, there is no greater advisor than a father. Number 3, there is no world bigger than a mother. Number 4, no bigger partner than a brother. Number 5, no friends is better than a wife. 5 golden rules always remember. Number 1, no wealth is greater than a family.
Black people still don't get it. For some time now, I have been trying to get the idea over that Black people must take charge of their lives and those of their children. We can't leave this to other people to do, because they're not going to do it. And we cannot sit around wringing our hands and shaking our heads and talking. It's getting late, brothers and sisters, especially for our children. Black people still don't get it. For some time now, I have been trying to get the idea over that Black people must take charge of their lives and those of their children. We can't leave this to other people to do, because they're not going to do it. And we cannot sit around wringing our hands and shaking our heads and talking. It's getting late, brothers and sisters, especially for our children.
See it. And so I set out to blow graphite onto that fingerprint, to be able to trace white rage throughout time, not all the way back to time immemorial with the dinosaurs, but at least up to the Civil War, all the way through to 2016. And one of the things that became clear to me as I started thinking through how white rage works, it became clear to me that the presence of Black people was not the trigger for white rage. There's that stun, almost what you're talking about, Willis, look. It is the presence of Black people with ambition. The presence of Black people with drive. The presence of Black people with aspirations. The presence of Black people who achieve. It's the presence of Black people who refuse to accept their subjugation. The presence of Black people who demand their rights. That's the trigger for white rage. And this society has therefore punished Black resilience and Black resolve. Now, at this point, this sounds like
Our digital PDF, Black History Facts You Probably Didn't Learn in School, is full of Black stories and facts that aren't usually taught in school.
Of each other and all having identical structures that follow this similar step pattern. Now I know most historians will tell you, oh, it's just the easiest tall structure to build. It's human nature. If it's so easy, why are our 21st century brains not capable of doing what dozens of ancient civilizations have repeatedly been able to do? We got the famous pyramids of Djoser in Egypt, but everyone knows about those. Across the world, there's Chichen Itza, Pyramid de los Nichos, Tikal Temple, the Great Pyramid of Cholula, among others in Mexico. And then on the other side of the planet, we got Koh Ker and Prasat Bakse Cham Krong in Cambodia. Off the coast of a tiny Japanese island deep within the ocean is the sunken Yonaguni monument, a supposed 10,000 years old, older than even the Egyptian pyramids. All with a nearly identical look, yet built by completely different cultures with zero contact among each other and thousands of kilometers apart. But this is just the tip. We got way more lesser known pyramids, even older than the Egyptian ones, that ain't even standing anymore. Like the Gunung Padang temple in Indonesia. Doesn't look so hot now, but used to be a step pyramid a whole 9,000 years ago. At least that's what they thought, until a more recent radiocarbon analysis shows that the lower parts of this temple go as far back as 28,000 years. Then this enormous hill in Bosnia was studied, and almost every archaeologist that visited it confirmed that it could not have been naturally formed, perfectly aligning to true north among many other characteristics of pyramids. These studies found out this hidden monument is over 35,000 years old and would be the oldest and largest pyramid in the world, hidden under years of vegetation. But the Bosnian government strangely halted further study on this thing for some reason. There's a crazy story behind what they found there, which honestly deserves its own video, so I'll probably be dropping that sometime. Fallen Pyramid of Hellinikon in Greece has boulders that are joined so tightly that even a human hair can't fit through the joints without any sort of ancient cement used. Built around 3000 BC, meanwhile, an almost identical masonry techniques was found in these walls in the city of Cusco in Peru, called Sacsayhuaman, over 11,000 kilometers away. And how old are these walls? Mainstream history will tell you they were built around the 15th century, but researchers recently uncovered a writing system built directly within the blocks of these walls that's well over 30,000 years old. Again, a topic that deserves its own video coming soon.
You know what my grandfather said? He said, the devil will never show up as the devil, because if he did, you wouldn't do the deal with him.
You wouldn't do the deal with him.
Your enemy will never show up as the enemy, because you wouldn't allow me in your circle.
And say that word.
You know what my grandfather said? He said, the devil will never show up as the devil, because if he did, you wouldn't do the deal with him.
You wouldn't do the deal with him.
Your enemy will never show up as the enemy, because you wouldn't allow me in your circle.
And say that word.
Tell me and prove to me that black people are violent and that they're going to take over, and I can open up the New York Daily News and show you white people who are killing their daughters, their husbands, their wives, their children, killing each other off. Well, if we put that in the paper and make it black and white, which is where the whole thing happens, it's in the paper. If a black man does something, it says, John Jones, black this, said black, 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 and did the black, black. Now, if a white man does it, it isn't white man Jones. It's just a man. Nondescript, just a regular old raggedy man went out, killed his two daughters and his wife, and shot himself. Now, if he does that, then everybody seems to just either sympathize with it or let it go out the window. But if a black man does it, then any white bigot can point his finger and say, see that? There they go again. Well, that isn't right. It isn't right. And it isn't. You tell me and prove to me that black people are violent and that they're going to take over, and I can open up the New York Daily News.
Hello, Visionaries. This is Dr. J. Aleem Hood, the host and executive producer for Visions Now, and also your Mystic brother. That's right, with the Mystic Moment, 92.1 FM, smooth R&B, every Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we're the one that said, help us help you. And what we're trying to do is that we're trying to get money into our community. We spend too much money with other people that don't do nothing for our community. All of this water here, that we are here for fundraisers for you. okay, to help us provide resources for our programs for our young people. We were just in Elizabeth County yesterday. We're going to be going to Warren Williams, going to be going to Fowley Homes. We're coming to a neighborhood near you. But the bottom line is that if you have an athletic team, they need to be drinking real water. This is water not from Walmart. This is from the Black Wall Street Network. We have to bring our dollars back home. We're making everybody rich, okay, and also making us emotionally poor because we don't support each other. So if you have a business out there, a restaurant, or you know somebody, or you just want to get some water for your own personal use, this is the best water in the business. None better. God made this water. It's artesian spring water. Artesian. Don't go by just I'm not gonna call no name. That blue bottle and them all these other jackleg bottles. No, this is the real water. Hello, Vision.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Visions Now. I want to welcome everybody to the village. I am Julian, your producer for the evening. And as usual, we got a real good show for y'all this evening. Don't know if we have any announcements this afternoon particularly. So we're just gonna go ahead and turn it over to Doc. How you doing this evening?
All praise due to the Most High.
Yes, sir.
You know, to whom all blessings flow from.
Yes, sir.
You know, and of course we're so honored to have with us today what I would call the entertainment man himself. Yes, sir. Derek, the bow tie entertainment man. Well, he's going to explain the other part. The words. I call him the word craft man. That's not witchcraft now. That word craft. You know what I mean? Right. And of course, things getting crunk up over there at Columbus State University.
Yes, sir. And I was just speaking with somebody else that we're partnering with, but really again just trying to organize for the semester and again really recruiting because we're still kind of in that fetus stage, right, so we're still growing. Yeah, just trying to get the students to know that we're back on campus and really preparing for next semester nowadays.
Right. Well, you know, anyone who's listening to the program, if they know somebody that goes to Columbus State University, have them to give us a call, right?
Give us a call.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. I mean, you might not see them on campus, but they someone listening might say, "Well, I know somebody going to Columbus State
through the grapevine."
Through the grapevine. And then just be a part of the student chapter of the NAACP at Columbus State University.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely trying to change the culture. So if they do go there and they're not pleased, let them know. What you call it? Get on the solution board. Help us fix it.
You already know the deal. You already know the deal. Okay, Junior. Before we go to our guest today, how did you complete this statement today? This is our moment that we have. If the truth be told.
Yes, sir.
We're coming to you in a minute. If the truth be told. What is it that's not being said? But if the truth be told, what, Julian?
If the truth be told, I think the city needs to be renamed kind of like Fort Moore was. I think calling it Columbus is like economic suicide.
Well, not yet. Not yet. You know, you got to put a little bit more weight before you get like that.
Right,
no doubt about it. Right. But if the truth be told, that there is something to be said about that, though. No doubt about it. Good. And Mr. Derek Hayes.
Yes, sir.
And of course, it's always a pleasure, my brother. You know, you're inspiration. You're the master promoter. You know, you are the man that knows how to. Bring meaning out of, you're kind of like a word magician. You had the magician take a rabbit out of the hat. You didn't know the rabbit was in there. Yeah. Well, you kind of do that with words, don't you?
Hey, it's a blessing, man.
It is. It's a blessing, no doubt about it. It's a way of looking at life and that type of thing. Because I'm into words myself. I mean. And everybody help from the etymology and stuff.
Different ways.
That's right. But if the truth be told, what is it that you hadn't told anybody but's been on your mind? But if the truth be told, if somebody told the truth, what would you say? How would you finish that statement?
Truth be told, we all now broke.
Okay.
A lot of us walk around thinking we can never make $1 out of 15 cents.
Okay. And my thing is this: that I understand last night there was a gathering of black males for Miss Harris. And again, as you all know, we're not political here, but whenever something comes up in the name of, and I guess I don't have any problem with that per se, but I have a problem with this. If the truth be told, everybody who was there at that meeting should have been signing up to be a mentor for our children that are coming out to YDC, be a mentor for these brothers coming out of prison so that they will have a better transition and come back into our communities. But no, I'm tired of, if the truth be told, I'm tired of dog and pony shows. Okay, and so therefore, I think really it would have been more responsible. I think it would have been more godly and more responsible and more accountable if the politicians who were there would say, look, let us sign up to be mentors, okay, to be one of the 200 mentors that we need, the New Era Coalition needs in order to start helping these young people stop destroying their community and killing each other and basically creating terror in our community. So that's my only thing is that, okay, we can go and have a good time and have some people to talk, but at the end of the day, when we leave there, our children still is not on the agenda. So that's not Ms. Harris' fault. That's not Mr. Trump's fault. That is the people who put it together last night. They did us a disservice because you put all those black males together and then you leave there. Nobody signed up to have no commitment to black children. If the truth be told, they all need a spanking. Everybody who put that thing together last night need a spanking. If the truth be told. Okay. Now, all is well with everybody. Everybody well? Everybody all well? All right. Okay. And this is the word of the day. No one changes, and we're talking to y'all out there. We're talking to y'all out there who you know. My thing is that yes, let's rally to get out the vote. Okay, let's do that. But let's rally to save our children all the time. But we put that over the value of our children. We can't rally. We've been trying to get them to rally to sign up to save our children, but they want to tell me what they doing with their trade, what we doing with our little club. Now we need a citywide movement, a united movement to impact what's going on toward our children out here. We're losing them every day. 8 out of 10 children come out to YDC. Every 10 come out, 8 go back, plus some new ones. Okay. But that wasn't talked about. So that's one of the reasons that hurt many people who really want to do something is because the people who supposedly know better, they just doing dog and pony shows. And I'm sick of it. Okay, the truth be told. No one changes unless they want to. Not if you beg them. We've been begging the pastors, we've been begging the politicians. If the truth be told, even if you beg them, if you shame them, not if you use reason, we've been using reason. If you use emotion, we've been using emotion. Even we've been doing, and this is tough love. There's only one thing that would make someone change, their own realization they need to do it. And let me tell you, the streets, you all are being disrespected out there because you raise all kind of hell all the time, but you get quiet when it comes to what's going on for our children. You too quiet too. You mamas out there trying to raise these children. You mamas out there these daddies that not nowhere around. You gotta start challenging them. Not individually, but collectively. Collectively. To do something about it. I remember some years ago when the war was going on in Liberia. And all the women of that nation got together and said, until the men stop this war, there's no more sex in this house. All the women in the whole country said, and guess what? They stopped the war. I'm just saying that we got to get that serious. Okay, and so I'm just tired of people playing with people, go around and be politicians. I'm sick and tired of to get on city council and talk about, I love dogs. I got a dog that I love, that I take care of. But we got more concern and more vigor over what's going on at the dog kennels than we got about what's going on in the prisons and the streets with our children. Something wrong with that picture. There's only one thing that makes someone change, their own realization they need to do it. And there's only one time it will happen, when they decide they're ready. I don't know when they're going to get ready. They're too fake. They're not authentic. And I'm not talking about everybody who was there. There were genuine people who were there, and I know they feel the same way that I do. That look, you shouldn't have left that room without everybody signing up to be a mentor as a part of the New Year Coalition, saving our children from violence. Everybody there should have been part of that. That should be, not only that, that whole room should be pushing to get funds so we can have our ex-offenders coming back into town, to teach them how to be mentors to these young people so they don't go down around the same track. I mean, I'm trying to say, when you pull people together, don't just put them together for dog and pony shows, just to put on a news break. Just to say we did something and we here for this. You ain't there for nothing. Grow up. Stop being childish. Too silly, too childish. Be a man. Stop being a sissy. Anyway, I'm sorry. It just enrages me. And I'm looking at all these children all the time, and they out here killing each other. The man just killed a lady the other day, shot her 10 times in the head. We got those kind of problems, but nobody rallies on that now. We know about nobody rallies on that. Yeah. But it was all over town when that mother got beat up over there at that school down there. Okay? And even the little boy that got killed out there at the bus stop. Wasn't no rally for that. So I'm just trying to say it's time to put in some work. The rallies is good, but we're trying to put in some work. And so if we can rally to get out the vote, we can rally to save these children's lives. And just like the lady was saying, that look, I don't know who we waiting on to do it. We got to provide the leadership for that. No, but will the real men stand up and demand that we start saving our children? Real men do that. Okay? So, glad to have you here today, brother.
Oh, man. Always.
Right? And, today we're going to change gears just a little bit here. You and I, we talked over the years, and I think that as a community, I think as you alluded to a little bit, I'm not about the dollar so much, but I'm about wealth. And so the whole notion to me about how do we maintain, how do we develop wealth so that we can provide that generational wealth that we need. It's unfortunate that we think in terms of generationally that we're gonna send children to school for 12 years to get a job. I mean, that's fine, but just like the lady was saying before, you're going to 12 years, think about being a business person. Don't think of a job as a job, think of it as a business. It's a business.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And therefore, like, okay, you got a business. I work with you, but I also have a business. That means because I'm working with you don't mean that I don't have a business too. Right. See what I'm saying? But I'm saying it's time for us to do that kind of thing. And also, the fact of the matter is that, we all are going to, we say, walk that plank, meaning that we all have a expiration date in this human experience that we call life. And the expiration date is a transition, really a transition, because energy can either be created or not destroyed. So we ain't dying, but we ain't gonna be like this. And we ain't gonna have no life if we don't create children that we can put this same spirit into. Then we're gonna cease to exist in this earthly experience, and so we just gonna be earth, air, water, and fire. I mean, we still gonna be here, but we won't be able to create this heaven on earth that we need to have here. So I'm just delighted with you, that Brother Derek, that you created kind of a guide. We were just talking, and I don't know if you had already done it, but I know I was saying we need to kind of have a little guide to at least talk to people, because I kind of feel kind of funny when I hear all the time somebody die or get killed, the children get killed, then somebody got what? A GoFundMe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm trying to say we know it's coming, so why we gotta? I mean, I'm trying to say that if the GoFundMe is anything, well, help take care of, the children, they help take care. I mean, but the burial situation, there should be some preparation for that. Now I know there's bigger fish to fry here, but talk a little bit about you created something called Weapon Board to fight for your legacy.
Right.
Okay. What's that all about?
Well, like when you go to these events and when January hits, they always have a vision board party.
Right. That's right.
Right. And so, and then you always hear about no weapon formed against me
shall prosper. That's right. That part too.
But you can form something to help you fight, to help you stay afloat, to help you grow. Like you said, to help you build generational wealth.
Right. Right.
So my mom passed in 2007.
Right.
My father just passed in December of 23.
Uh-huh.
And so my dad always told me, he said, one day I'm going to bless you.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Boy, you're going to be able to handle this blessing."
Financially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Generational wealth.
Right.
I seen him bless his children's children.
Right. And that's what it's supposed to do.
That's a blessing because a lot of times you don't have these conversations. You don't get to look a black man in the eyes and he standing on business and he handling business.
That's right.
So my job, one of my jobs now is to show people how to start collecting information.
Right.
Because when my mom passed away, she had me over the estate.
Right.
So I had to learn from scratch.
Right.
Like,
now, I know we're going to, but what is an estate? For those out there.
Trust.
They may think you're talking about Buena Vista Estate.
No, the estate is you over their affairs. It's like, all right, you got to make sure the bill's paid.
Okay.
You have to make sure.
So if they transition and there's some overdue bills,
right?
Then
all the
financial obligation, then they have to.
Right. You might have something like cars or something. Items that you sell can go to the estate to make sure certain things are paid off.
Let me ask you this: if a dead person, person in transition, if they don't pay it, what happens? They got to worry about no bad credit. I mean, what happens if you don't pay it? I mean, like it was their bill. I mean, what?
Oh well, they may depends on who the beneficiary. It could be the beneficiary. Might be depending on the situation.
Okay, in other words, you're saying that they're gonna get it from somebody somehow.
Right.
If anybody got anything,
there may be some other funding out there that they could get it from.
Because
when people just like when they just like the government, when they need to get money from you, they gonna know your information, your catalog better than you do. They know what's in your portfolio.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people out there that might not know what a portfolio is. What's a portfolio?
Portfolio is like, okay, what are you worth? What do is it? Do you have stocks? Do you have bonds? Do you have
okay? And again, I mean, I know you big time. You got that.
Not big time. But
what about Ray now? Because we have a problem right now that generationally, or the parents have bought a little home, but then we losing that now. That house is being lost. Somebody
they lose it for different reasons.
Right.
One, you may not pay your note, and then some lose their homes on taxes. Right. So every situation is different.
Right.
So sometimes,
Is that I mean, would that be a portfolio situation? Would that be an estate situation?
It's an investment. It's part of your portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Property, cars, depending on what's an asset.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at you want more assets than you have liability.
Right. And when you talk about assets, I mean, what do you mean assets?
Something that is of value, like your whatever, like different people they're gonna teach you.
What about your gold chain?
Gold chain depending on does it appreciate.
Right. If it's real gold,
it's real.
Junior, what you got on there? You got
classic cars can have value.
Right.
Your house, real estate market always.
Right. Now, some people say that your house really, if you sit it up right, is like a bank. The house is a bank.
Right.
What do you say to that?
Well, depending on what knowledge you have, because people do refinance.
Mm-hmm.
The market changes. Just like recently, the Federal Reserve they changed the rates. So depending on what position are you in position to take advantage of the different things they're doing for the market.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's different ways they finance houses.
Now, what about equity? Like equity, that generation, that wealth, the equity in the
you
house?
can, like for example, I was sharing with you about REITs.
Right.
You know, through advisors and financial advisors, I was learning about, because like you can invest in real estate in different ways now.
Okay.
Like you can go buy a house.
Okay.
Or REITs is real estate investment trust.
Right. Go and talk a little bit more about the REIT.
The REITs is like, they got different types of REITs. Like in the malls, a lot of times the companies own the same malls, different cities.
Right.
And so you invest in the malls, like just start looking at different, like they got college dorms.
Right.
That have REITs.
Right.
You know, they have companies called one company's called Arrive. One company called City Funds.
Right.
You know, they have, like, you go on your on different apps.
Right.
And find REITs. And
you
know, you have to find your lane.
Right.
Do your research.
Right. So what if a person just had $500,000? Can they call REITs for that?
Well, it's not called REITs. A REIT is a real estate investment trust, but they have different companies that have their own REITs.
Right. I'm saying, okay.
Like for example, they have a company I just found, it's in Atlanta. It's called Roots.
Okay.
So like they can get with their financial advisor, they can reach out to Roots and see what's out there. You know, I have a conversation with them to see, okay, if I invest this, you know, what's long term.
Right.
What could be my return on the investment?
Right. Now what about it? Like, say for example, say you a long-term drug dealer. Not you, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So you either just we just been doing side hustles and things like that. But you want to start saving some of your money so that you can do some better things. You want to get out of that situation. You would REITs, would that be something that
REITs is an avenue. Also, you got to find what works for you. For one person, REITs might be there. You may talk to an advisor. He may, get you into a ETF.
Right. Oh yeah. By the way, hotline number 706-324-1420. If you have a question, you can give us a call now. And while we have the expert here, for today, about generational wealth and that type of thing, 706-324-1420. So give us a call. You have a question or a comment, or you might have something that you learned from, that you might want to add to this discussion as well. Because we're talking about generational wealth. I've read someplace many times actually that right now each of us, we should be preparing to put together, resources for our grandchildren, and then our grandchildren, they should be doing the same thing for their grandchildren. In other words, every grandparent should be taking care of the grandkids, and the grandkids should be taking care of their grandkids. In other words, everybody will get taken care of.
Right.
But
you give them confirmation on conversations I just had a few days ago.
Okay, go on.
No, for one of the grandchildren. I was like, hey, this is a plan we could do.
Right.
Put a certain amount. And then put a certain amount. By the time they turn, a certain age, they will have a certain amount of money. That way they can make decisions based on what they want.
And hopefully you also be teaching them as they grow up on so that they can make better decisions.
Right.
Sometimes the parents have left children, but the children, they don't know. I mean, they just they wild it out.
You looking at the person that you speaking that to, because like I said, my father said, I'm gonna bless you, but are you gonna be able to handle it? So one thing I had to do on my own was, I had help, but I'm just saying, like you said, nobody's gonna change unless they want to.
That's right.
So I had to get out of debt. And so, child support, and then school loan, car note, house note, every type of note. But as I kept with it, and little by little, I seen the debt come off.
Right, man don't work, man don't eat.
Right, and then for at least 3-4 years, I've been debt free.
Okay,
so that was like a championship for me.
So you got about a 900 credit.
I made mistakes, but I made mistakes. I'm not my credit's not that high, but it's building.
Right.
But the fact that I don't owe anybody anything.
Right. That helps.
The fact that I can see my money now.
Right.
I'm not on the same pressures I can invest more.
Right.
You know, I can call the financial advisor. Hey, man, what do you think about this idea?
Exactly. I just want to let everybody know that we're going to continue on Facebook and okay, I'll call. Okay, let's continue to call. But we're going to continue. But we're going to be going into the football game on our broadcast. But we're still going to be going live on Facebook and YouTube. Okay. Yes, caller, what's your vision?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Hep.
Wa alaikum assalam, brother.
Yes, sir. This is brother Reggie.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. For the financial advisor, I wanted to ask him a question. How important is, when you're trying to build generational wealth, how would you go about selecting and wading through a spouse who would also want the same thing? What signs would you look for in the spouse that would try to get that?
Okay. Now I'll just kind of add a little bit there. First of all, I would look at a spouse who also respect the fact that you want to do that. Okay, I mean that you have a vision about doing things and preparing for the future generations. You would want one that has what we call emotional maturity, meaning that they're not trying to be independent from. They're trying to learn how to be cooperative and to be a team, be a part of the team for you as the leader in that family unit. So those would be some of the qualities, and of course, obviously, that they have the skills and the desire to be a homemaker, as well as understand a business person as well. I mean, those two things can go together, obviously. So I would say that the one is that there's somebody also that respects your family, and your family respects them also, because at the end of the day, we live in families, and so. It's important that the families, when they come together, not just the two individuals, but you add into your tribe, because you add in their family with your family, and you expanding the tribe. So, Dago, what would you say to that? Anything you would like to add? Oh, didn't hear the question. Okay, the question was, okay, given what you're talking about now, setting up the wealth and everything, you say, what type of spouse, should a person have that's going to support them growing and developing this, even if they don't have it, but willing to work toward that? What kind of attributes in a lady, would one need?
You gotta have a team player. You gotta have. If you want to be successful, you want them to be successful. You gotta get them room to grow. We got to learn more about each other. So a lot of times we jumping in relationships. We don't know their strengths. We don't know their weaknesses.
And emotional, we get to do the emotional type stuff. Yeah,
you can't win every battle.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time. So you got to build from there, and you got to be willing to grow.
Right.
You have to be willing to learn new things. You have to be willing to, to let them know, hey, this is where I'm headed.
Right. And let me say this to you also, brother, that I come from the ancient African frame of references relate to family. My studies go back to thousand years in terms of how we've been able to survive. That's how we survive here today. And I say that to say this, that when you take on a spouse, a wife, it should be someone who when they pledge that in sickness and health, then that should truly be that no matter what y'all go through, that the premise is that you're going to bend, but you're not going to break. So whatever things go on, I don't care what it is, unless, I'm trying to say that unless somebody lose their mind, but the bottom line is that you all should say, well, look, that we're in this from now on, and we're going to have up times and down time, but I'm not going nowhere, and then you got to say, I'm not going nowhere either. So we're going to, we might not stay in the same room, but we'll be in the same house. That's what I would say.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. And I just agree with what you said last time. As I see that dynamic, knowing it, but understanding in real time, seeing how there's so many old people that are just sit there and criticize young people, but not do anything or give them proper guidance and tell them that they're wrong, when
Right.
they experience the same thing in their generation,
Right.
and just not really do anything.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gets done and just blame other people.
Exactly. And I was blessed
what
that,
you should be
right. And I was blessed to have a grandparent who was not, they were wise, but they were not as knowledgeable, but they encouraged. In other words, see, I grew up in a generation where parents wanted you to be better than them. You know what I'm saying? In other words, so therefore, even if they didn't know something, they said, you ought to learn this. You know, you need to learn that. You know, where they would encourage you to learn these things as opposed to just leaving you hopeless, you know, and just wondering. But they would encourage, they realized, my generation elders, they realized those things. They didn't have opportunity to learn things. They didn't have opportunity to own property, things of that sort. So therefore, like with my own family, I mean, what they gave me was, it wasn't no wealth. They get, but the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding, and the love of God, and the appreciation of family, and the dedication to want to make the world a better place. They gave that to me, and as a result of that, I maybe got a little star of resources that I could pass on. Hopefully, my children, grandchildren, that they would take that little star and create some planets or something. You follow me? What about you?
I couldn't hear the question.
Well, no. I was just continuing, you know, in terms of you were just saying about elders.
Yeah.
You know, there many times they're not encouraging, and they don't have the knowledge.
My parents are like, you going somewhere.
Right.
You going to college.
Right.
You going somewhere. And then, even when I had a midlife crisis in my 30s, you know, I called my mom. I knew my mom it was 4-bedroom. I could have just drove to the house.
Sure, right, that's right.
Nah, you gotta stay out there and make it.
Right.
I'm gonna write a check for you.
Right.
You can't come home.
Right.
A lot of guys,
you got to expand the territory.
A lot of the guys you grew up with, they going behind bars right now.
Right, exactly.
So she was like, "No, you gotta stay out there. You gotta stay in the fight.
Right.
You're gonna make it.
Exactly.
Stay in the game.
You built like that. That's right.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So thank you very much, caller.
Yes, sir. Well, I want to say one last thing.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate Brother Jew. I want to applaud him on the podcast. Applaud him for organizing that effort that we did when we took the students from Be Candid. He did a wonderful job. It was not perfect, but we learned, and he just did. It was an excellent servant leader that day.
Okay, very good. That's what it's all about. No doubt about it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Yes, that's what it's all about, being a servant for the people. All right. So we're talking again. I know there was some questions that you have suggested. By the way, I don't know if we transitioned yet. We already okay. So we're still on Facebook, so we're still moving forward. Now there was some let's see here, some questions, I guess, that you had, and why don't you talk a little bit about what the intent is for these questions here?
The intent is when a loved one passes away, sometimes you're not able to focus on things that you might need access to. So I created the web through the word weapon. I give you some ideas, like the W is for will, the E is for employers, the A is for accounts, the P is for policies and property, the O is for organizations, and the N is for network.
Okay, let's start with will. What does this will mean in this context? I mean, what
the will is a binding agreement.
Oh, you mean that kind of will?
Yeah,
okay,
will. Yeah, because like when you leave, it has to do with your wealth. It has to do with how the wealth passed down. It has to do with has information in there like there's assets. Who gets the assets? How will they be divided? It could be the property. It could be the money. It could be
right.
My money going to this organization.
Right.
So it's important information, and then the will could also be. It could be in the house. A will could be in the safety deposit box of the bank. It could be listed with the government. So writing down, like, if you firstly, do you have a will?
Right.
Then also, if you do, where is it located?
What amount? You know, as you know, there are some of us who got exposed to education, maybe have accounting law, but there are a lot of people out there that just don't have that. I mean, now for example, when you want to start a corporation, there's a thing called the poor man's copyright. Is there a poor man's will? I mean, that you can do and maybe get it notarized or something. Just write it down or something, or have somebody to record it for you, and something like that for people who maybe don't really have a lot of resources.
I mean, that's something you can do, but like the information here, like that's why I put the question together.
Mm-hmm.
So say if you don't have a will, or you're in the process, tomorrow not promised.
Right, that's right.
But whoever, even if you leave a will to somebody, you trying to get them instructions on how to carry out your affairs.
Right.
Or you trying to learn how to carry out out of respect, someone else's affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Because with both parents, I try to do my best. Like, say, all right, I know this is what they want.
Right.
They coached us. Hey, 3 brothers. This how it is. This how I want it to be.
Right. Well, now in my case, my plan is as far as the will type thing is concerned. I don't know, Julian, what you thought about this as of yet, but it's not too early to start thinking about it. But we live the what we call the Nguzo Saba, 365. Okay, according to lifestyle. And the idea is that the principle of first of all is that unity. So my thing is that I'm planning what little stuff I might have. I'm gonna have it on a corporation, and the children would be members of the board of directors, and also I'm also going to let them know that they have to have a consensus in all decisions. No outline. No, we're not 3 outvoting. No. You got to be a consensus. So it's going to take a little time, but you got to come to a point whereby everybody agree. Otherwise, everything remains the way it is. That is, if you're going to change something, that means it has to be a consensus agreement on that. And also that I'm telling them that there's going to be at least 33% of whatever the wealth is should be retained for the generation, the next generation, the grandchildren. Okay, now so that means that is 63 1/3% of whatever the live. If I got $100, with $66, in 33 cents will be for whatever they want to do to maintain businesses, create businesses, buy things or whatever. But 33% would be drawing value and wealth, so that will be there for education for the next generation. Also for them to help them get on their feet, with housing or whatever. In other words, those kind of things. So that's part of Ujima. That is collective working responsibility is just, and of course the economic part is the cooperative economic. And also, as a trust, it would be actually a bank. They would be able to borrow from the insurance policies that you take out and leave as a part of that trust, was $1 million, $100,000, whatever, but they'll be able to use that as a bank to borrow from. So they will borrow from their own family bank, so to speak. Every family will have a bank. So that's my kind of the vibe that I'm looking at. I don't know as of yet how the legal structure for that, but what it's going to take. But that's what that's the kind of thing I'm looking at, using those principles.
What they call name and show vision.
Yes, sir. Exactly. So, and in that way, kind of making them, now anybody can bow. They don't have to work together. They can just say, I don't want nothing. Fine. But whoever it is, you got to be a consensus. You know what I'm saying? And they already know, kind of what that structure is, because because as children, we always used to have every Saturday used to have family meetings, and teaching them how to conduct meetings, how to know how to make problem decisions. So they're hopefully doing that with their own families now, but they also are doing it with the broader families. Like I say, that my position is that they're not have different families. We got one family in different households. It's just that, we could have a castle and everybody living everybody living the same in the same castle, but if everybody don't, but it's still one family. No way, because you live in a different household don't mean that you got different families. Okay, and there's some common values also, and I'm saying that there's some common values that I think that the family should continue, because many times with marriage, people have different kind of values and culture, but my thing is that there's some values that I think need to be contained. And so whatever gifts that I might be able to accrue is going to be based in continuing those types of values.
Right. Yeah, that's the way you started.
And
the E is the employer.
Right.
And what I've learned is that you could work a job, you might have some benefits that you passed away. You just walked away.
Right.
You left the job. You still may have some money in the phone.
How do you find that? I mean, you made a good point when we were talking. How do you? I mean, maybe somebody was working on a job 15, 20 years ago. I mean, and they might have had a little life insurance policy, but they don't know nothing. I mean, how would
you? As long as you had a Social Security number, and a death certificate, that's where you could start.
Okay, so who would do that? Would you hire somebody to do that?
Like for example, if you're still alive, you might look back. Like it's never too late to look back. Like say you're alive and it was a couple of years ago.
Right.
Some people leave jobs and not even thinking that, I still have something back there.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That
the next step would be say if you do pass away. But this is why this questionnaire is good, because you listen to all the employers where you worked at.
So I guess I'm trying to figure out
whoever your beneficiary or whoever is over your estate.
Right.
If they had the information.
So whatever the work history is, they would get you kind of
right. Because some people don't know where you worked at all your life.
Right. Exactly.
Every employee.
Right.
If they your beneficiary or if they over your estate.
Right.
As long as they have your Social Security number or your death certificate, then you can start doing your research. And then if you have to, some situation you have to establish an estate.
Okay.
And so it's just different, you know what I mean? But that's
different rules. Okay.
And you'd be surprised. It's things out there that.
As I'm thinking about it, I think that maybe you might be onto something here as well. I think every church should have a discussion like we're having here tonight. I think that every time they have a family reunion, I think that they should have a part of the family business meeting. I think they need to have a discussion about these kind of things. Having a burial fund for family members and things like that.
Sure. And then the A is accounts.
Okay.
I learned so much about different accounts because different like from a bank to a brokerage account, different accounts are set up differently.
Right.
Like when I was on the phone with an attorney, he called a bank and they said one account was POD.
Right.
Which I didn't know. I mean, it might be common knowledge to someone else, but I didn't know POD was payable on death.
Right.
Then you have mutual, then you have joint accounts, you have single accounts. So all these different accounts determine, who's able to who's able to access the accounts.
Right. Okay.
And then you got brokerage accounts. So sometimes you got to know, okay, if it's a brokerage account, am I have to pay taxes on it?
Okay.
Is it a cash account?
Mm-hmm.
So before you make moves, you have to know what type of account it is.
Okay.
And you got to be wise about the information because you might have an account, you get some money, you got to pay taxes. Taxes come back and bite you.
No doubt about it. What about policies and property?
Like you had mentioned earlier.
Do you have an insurance policy? Do you own any property like cars or houses?
Right. So knowing, like, then it might be like, go back to the will. The will might say, all right, my cars are going to go to such and such.
Mm-hmm.
They may have a old classic car store somewhere.
Right, that's right.
The information not there. How can you find it? How can you?
Right.
Like when have
you done your will yet?
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. Is there like an outline you got?
Yeah, outline. Like this is helping me. Then I start making a list of my assets, stuff like that.
Okay.
So everything building.
Right.
This also helped me, because I'm not perfect. I don't have everything together, but this will help me get information. And this is the stage I'm in. Like, hey, look here. Tomorrow, and I promise.
Exactly.
So start getting your affairs in order.
Oh, you discussing this with your children at all? I mean, just letting them know that you kind of making having these kind of. I've been kind of doing that, like just kind of.
Well, I started with first starting with my wife.
Right.
The people that are ready for the information.
Right.
So the more and more I get comfortable with it.
Right.
Because like sometimes in our community we don't want to discuss anything.
It wasn't no doubt about it, especially about dying.
But now it's like that's why I call you up and say, hey. Yeah, and it's time.
Exactly.
Because I see how this just jot some things down.
Exactly. Exactly. What about organizations? What organization do you belong to,
Like
and
the
how can
church.
they help you in a time of need?
Like through my father, he was a Mason.
Right.
So knowing that, the Masons wanted to be involved.
Right, of course.
So they did.
But speaking of that, this weekend, a Modern Free anniversary. I'm for the Modern Free Masons of the world, and we have our anniversary down at the Modern Free Complex this weekend, Fridays and Saturday night. And, so come on down and just, there'll be a parade Saturday as well. And come on down and just enjoy the festivities and, meet some old friends. And I think you've been down there before. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you've been
different
vendors and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's this weekend, the anniversary of Modern Free.
So like,
Masons
he was
of the
a
world.
member of the American Legion.
Right.
So they wanted to stand by the body.
Right.
And he was retired Air Force.
Right.
So they helped out with the funeral.
Right.
Then the church, Bethel AME, that's part of the organization.
Right.
So they had the funeral there and they had the repast.
Mm-hmm.
So just knowing different organizations that he's a part of,
right.
People want to get involved.
Right, of course.
People want to celebrate. But you gotta get them, you got to help people help you.
Exactly. And that's what we try to do here, to help the community, but the community got to help us, help them.
Right.
And that's why I'm saying is that's why many times I love our community, but the thing about it is that you got to have some serious discussions and points of view. And that's one thing about it is that why I said that we have to hold ourselves accountable for what we don't do as well. The last thing is network. I think you got about 60 seconds on this one.
Network is one aspect of the network is writing down people that you would like to be contacted, personal or professional, reaching out, financial advisor, part of your network.
Right.
You have an attorney, whoever part of your network that can help you,
right?
In your time of need or your family time of need.
Okay.
So like you said, these different resources can help you pass on.
Right. Let me say this, that this is an ongoing process, and I hope that you would come, as you moving along and say, oh, this is an update on this right here. I just got this. You can kind of keep us, as we move forward with that.
This is new to me.
Right. Matter of fact, I would like to get an outline of a wheel paper sometime. Maybe we
not me giving the speech, not what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
About business.
Sure. That's what it's all about.
Real business.
Exactly.
It's a blessing.
And I'd like to thank you for thinking about us, and of course, you were with us when we started this journey.
Yes, sir.
That was probably the last time you was in here, wasn't it? Well, glad you're back, and
like some people come, but they ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Whatever I'm trying to say, sometimes people call me when they ain't got nothing to say.
Right.
But some people just have to say something.
Right.
And some people have something to say, and we hope that we have something to say on this program. Yeah. Some people they just want to be seen. They it's like they want somebody to think they're important.
Why pick up there when you can plant
yeah. But it's time out for that. Our children, they're not going to save our children's life because you think you're important. What's going to save our children's life when all the important people who think they're important organize. Okay. So again, brother, thank you so much for being with us today. And by the way, are you performing anywhere soon that you want to let us know about?
Now, right now, just I'm helping entrepreneurs. I'm helping authors. I have it's called the 5W process: who, what, where, when, and why.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the city of Columbus, and you got if you're working in the community, if you got a business, if
right.
you got an organization, just reach out to me.
Well, if somebody that you run across, you think that they got something to offer, then please, send them on over here to us, and we'll support you. Matter of fact, we do publish books, right, Junior? We'll book Euphoria Books and Wellness Publishers. So we got you. So they can do what they do, and we'll put a little Ujamaa in that cooperative economics. Right hand, left hand, work together, right?
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it. It's kind of interesting. This is just a little something that came to mind. Somebody you take some things for granted. And somebody was saying, can you imagine your hand without a thumb? And you don't really think about it that much, really, but there are a lot of things that you just won't be able to do without your thumb. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you don't have a thumb, it's just one of those kind of things. And the one of them is you just without thumb, you just can't, can't get it right. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right, that's what I'm saying. A lot of things. All of that kind of thing, man. Exactly. Yeah, you kind of catch it, man. It's tough without a thumb, That one finger, that thumb, that big toe in your hand. Right. So again, we're gonna get ready to get on out of here. Julian, we going too late? Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Then so again, in the last word before we go,
just start writing down ideas that are part of your legacy.
Okay.
Like find out how you want to be remembered, how you want to be treated when you're not here.
Okay. Let me end with this tonight. And then we might get cut off with. You can go and start playing my music if you can, do. No, it's too late. It's already gone. Yeah. Okay. Well, I can end with this. This is the African pledge. And the pledge goes like this: we will remember the humanity, the glory, and suffering of our ancestors, and honor the struggle of our elders. We will strive to bring new value and new life to our people. We will have peace and harmony among us. We will be loving, sharing, and creative. We will work, study, and listen so we may learn. Learn so we may teach. We will cultivate self-reliance. We will struggle to resurrect and unify our homeland. We will raise many children for our nation. We will have discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will live as models to provide new direction for our people. We will be free and self-determining. We are African people. We will win. And that's promoted to Shindu Rosata Wazuri. As always, I'd like to say, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for listening. And as always, we're the one that love you. And we've been loving you too long to stop now. 92.1 Smooth R&B.